ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon. Well, it's a Friday. Hey, everybody. I'm Robert. Thank you so much for being here. It's a very special Friday edition of the Roundtable with one of my favorite people in the whole entire universe. Matt Gould is here, and I'm going to tell you all about the album and how and why he's here and what we're celebrating today and why it's important. I am so excited. I want to say happy Friday, TGIF. This week was the longest month of my life. Working as a teacher is a grind for sure, but I'm super excited to have this weekend. We should have a fun weekend. I want to say thank you to everyone who watched The Temptations. Were with us, last week. Jelani Remy, Matt Manuel, James Harkness, and St. Albin were here to talk about Ain't Too Proud. Toby Marlowe was here, the writer, a co-writer of Six the Musical. He had his show at 54 Below, and I happened to end up checking it out. I did. I checked it out. I was there, and they're so talented. They're such a what a sunshine, and it was so great of Toby to be here. And then Dominique Paton was here from Wicked as well, and she's such a star, and I was so happy to spend some time with her. Such a pleasure, such a joy to spend time with such a beautiful artist like she is. Before we get started, and I tell you what I did last week and whatever, I just want to let you know that I saw my mom yesterday, and my mom said to me, you need to ask for your money early because she's nutty. So if you would like to contribute to this show, this messy little show, I do it from the bottom of my heart. I don't do it to make money, but if you want to help, we promote it. We create these graphics. All of this stuff costs a dollar or two. You're more than welcome to Venmo me. There you go, Rose. My mother is watching in Fort Lee, New Jersey. Thank you so much for always rooting and supporting me, to my parents, my dad, and all that. I'm going to tell you about them in a moment. So first, let me tell you a little bit of what do we call it? My shameless plug.
Because I'm shameless.
I don't know when I came up with this idea. This is what happens when you teach all day and then you try to create an online show and you come up with these nutty ideas, I tell you. But I saw Robbie Roselle this week. Robbie Roselle is directing my Green Room 42 debut. It's going to be April 16th. There's a couple tickets left that are only $5. They have 5 tickets for $5. So they were gone the other day. I think there's one. But if you want to get your ticket April 16th, live at Green Room 42, for tickets, go to www.greenroom42.com. And if you have no idea who I am and you would like to know more about me, you can always stream my album, Unfinished Business, wherever music is streamed. What a great plug. And if you're in New Jersey and a part of the LGBT Chamber of Commerce, you can see me on Saturday. I'll be singing for my friend Gus Penaranda. He just became the chairman of the LGBT New Jersey Chamber of Commerce, and he's working to make LGBT businesses equal as businesses of color and women-owned businesses, as minority-owned businesses, to get help from government subsidies. That's his big mission, to work with the governor. So I'm so proud to support him and go out there and sing a couple of cheesy love songs and do a little something, a little From a Distance. And there will be definitely some Matt Gould and Griffin Matthews songs at Green Room 42 and on this Saturday. So I hope you can join me if you're in the New York area. All right, let me tell you about what I did this week before we get Matt Gould out here, because I have so much to talk to him about. Here's my week in review. So this week was fun. I was a little busy. We did some fun, busy things for sure. I went and saw Clue at Paper Mill Playhouse with my friend Mike. Mike took me for my birthday, and it was not a musical. It was a comedy, and we laughed, and it was really cute, and I love 90 minutes with no intermission. Ooh, that is the best thing in the world for me. I love 90 minutes without an intermission so much. And then I was home on that was Sunday, and on Monday night when work was over, I watched House of Gucci. All right, well, it was not the most cinematic masterpiece. It reminded me so much of my family. It was scary. If you know about so good. I have an Italian family that's a family business. I mean, I wish we were Gucci, but it was so good. It was such a good movie. I enjoyed it for all the wrong reasons. And then I woke up Tuesday to the surprise that the LA Note was so nice enough. I'm going to just peek over. and say thank you for this review about coming to see me. Feels like a friendly gathering. If you ever want to see my concert dates and where I'm popping up next, you can always check out robertbannon.com. It was really sweet. It was really sweet when someone recognizes what you do. Means a lot. Speaking of Robbie Roselle, I went over their house for dinner. The weight of my heart is through some homemade pasta. Forget putting together a show or talking about music or anything. Pasta? Come on, pasta. Do you know what I'm saying? And last thing I'll be before I tell you my shtick about Matt and Griffin, and we have him come out here, before he classes this trashy show up a bit. My brother, I want to give my brother a shout out. My brother worked for the prosecutor's office, and he's so anti-me. He's like petrified of attention. He hates attention so much. Attention makes him so nervous. But he won an award yesterday with the prosecutor. That's my mom, my dad, my future sister-in-law, and my brother. He was recognized, and there we all are. Afterwards, we went out to dinner, and congratulations to Sean. He is the light. He's making a difference in inroads in communities and with jobs and organizations. You know, the world with policing and kind of authority figures has been there's so much work to be done, and we need people who know that there's work to be done and aren't afraid to say it. And I'm really proud of my brother because we need to protect the lives of everybody in this country. So I had such a week, so I'm filled with love and gratitude to be here with you all today. Before I tell you about why I love Matt Gould and Griffin Matthews so much, I want to tell you that I bought this pink boa because Charo was coming on the show next week. Charo, her coochie herself, was here on Wednesday, and today she canceled. She canceled and postponed it until later. I hate the show. She canceled it and postponed it till later next month. So Charo will eventually be here, but next week it made news. There's an Adele impersonator in Vegas named Janae Longo, and if you had tickets to Adele's residency at the Caesars Palace that was canceled, you can now go to Legends in Concert at the Flamingo Hilton and see Janae Longo do her Adele impersonation. Well, and she will be here. That's as close as we're getting to Adele. She will be here as long as Billy Vera and the Beaters had that giant hit. If I think about it, what would you do if I, at this moment, tears in my eyes? That guy. He's a Grammy winner, and he'll be here next week. Coming soon, Anais Mitchell, Rufus Wainwright. We're going to have a Merrily We Roll Along reunion. The stars of Drag Race Vegas will be here. The ladies of freestyle. If you're a CeCe Peniston and Robin, fan of those back in the 90s, if you're of a certain age, we just put the mishmash of people together, and it gives me so much joy to just talk to artists and people who love art. So please join me on our regular scheduled times next week. Next week's show is on a Wednesday because I can do whatever I want. That's my rule. So the show is on Wednesday. So Matt Gould is here. There you have it. That's what's coming up in the future. And we just keep trucking along here. I don't know why you all keep watching, but I appreciate you so much. Let me tell you a little story. He hates this story. He's going to say, we've heard this story, and this is not about me. But what I want to show really quickly is that 7 years ago, I was going through a really tough time, and Wednesday nights were my divorce night. I was getting divorced, and I would go to the Palms in New York City on 50th Street. I would sit at the bar and have Chilean sea bass because I was trying to lose weight and treat myself, and I would go buy a ticket to see a show. And I went to an off-Broadway production of at Second Stage because I heard about this show, and I read in Theater Mania that the 10 theater musical writers to watch were Matt Gould and Griffin Matthews. So I go see this show, and I was floored. I left in tears, and I tweeted Griffin Matthews that night. And the next day, while I was brushing my teeth to go to work, Griffin Matthews tweeted me back. See, such an amazing story and show. It would be a dream to be a part of something as brilliant as you have created. Congrats. And he said, it's all about making the dream a reality. And I was like, oh, I never tweeted really before. Look at how timed. Look how Hamilton playbill as my picture. So then second, so we went back and forth. I needed this, and I would do anything to work on a project like yours. And I just said, who can I get as a vocal coach? I just wish, and he said, none other than Matt Gould. And then Matt tweeted me, and I've never left. I was at their house the week later. So that production came, and then it was a break, and times were wild and crazy, and no one knew what was going to happen. And what ended up happening was the show, Witness Uganda, like the little engine that became a big engine because the brilliant minds of Matt Gould and Griffin Matthews are literally, nothing's going to ever stop them, because true talent and true humanity and true passion rises to the top. And this show moved me and continues to move me. It's played in LA. And today, streaming right now on anything you listen to music, the entire cast album with the most beautiful musicians and artists, with the most beautiful songs, produced by the most beautiful producers, is right now streaming at your fingertips. The music is yours forever. And Matt Gould is here to tell us all about his perseverance, his journey, his art, everything I want to know, everything I don't know about him. So before we bring him out, take a peek at a little bit of some of the musical videos and things that they've put together. That is, there he is. There is Matt Gould. Hi.
Well, hi,
friend.
how are you?
I am so excited. I'm good. I was nervous to talk to you today.
Why?
Because I'm so proud of your in your closet, as that's your interview spot.
This is my children's
I'm
room.
just proud of,
I'm in my son's room.
I want to do it justice because it means so much to so many people, to me, to you, to every artist and person that's worked on this. Your labor of love here is a lesson in so many lessons of life. Your perseverance, your talent, and your strength and courage, tenacity. You and I don't know what to say. I'm just so proud of you. It's so beautiful, and thank you for being here with me.
Well, thank you for having me. So much of my strength, perseverance, and tenacity is thanks to your generosity and kindness. Because there have been days when I've called you or texted you and said, like, "What the hell am I doing?" And you have always been there with a kind word and encouragement. So it's mutual love.
Well, thank you. I was thinking about you. Firstly, before we get started, how are your boys? How are the little guys?
They're at daycare, so they're great. We're great. Everybody's great at daycare.
That is wonderful. I'm happy to hear that. You guys, your kids, you as a foster parent, the advocacy that you do with that, and I think most people who know you in my life, they either ask me about your music or your chickens. That's like the big selling points. People send me text messages. You saw the chickens? The chickens are real? Yes, he has chickens. And he's also a brilliant songwriter. So can you tell me, firstly, for the people who are watching who have never heard the music, haven't gotten the chance to see it, the story behind this show? Firstly, you and Grif met kind of because of charity work in Africa. Can you explain a little bit about how that started?
Sure, yeah. I was a Peace Corps volunteer in West Africa. I came home from my experience in Peace Corps, and basically that was the only thing I talked about. And our mutual friend, Leslie Odom Jr., not trying to name drop, at the time, Leslie Odom Jr. was just like us. He was just a working actor. And he was like, "You should meet my friend Griffin, who's spent time in Africa." And that's all he ever talks about too. The two of you should get together. And so we did. We got to talking about our experiences, just outside of our culture, outside of what our universe was. And I knew I wanted to write something about that time. I didn't quite know how to do it through my own story. And over time, as our relationship grew as more than just friends into something romantic, I just saw that he was in many ways haunted by his experience as an American abroad trying to make change. He was haunted in some of the same ways that I was. And I started thinking, like, his story might be a way in for me to be able to actually tell some version of the emotional story that I went through. And so we started creating this piece about his experience going to Uganda as a gay Christian man, and trying to make a difference. And just the complexity of what that is, whether as Americans we have any right to go into another culture and tell them the right way. Questions about whether we have a responsibility to do that, as with all the privilege and stuff that we have. And so that took us on a journey to really just writing this story about his experience, the mistakes he made, the many mistakes he made.
Oop. Hold on. I'm so sorry. We had a little technical difficulty. No, she's not here, and we're not having her here. Go ahead. Okay. We'll talk about that later. Sorry.
But yeah, no, that's okay. But that's it. And that took us on a journey of telling this story. It was first done as a bunch of workshops for Stephen Schawartz at the Disney ASCAP Festival. That eventually brought us to New York to do it as a workshop with ART. We had a production at ART. We were on the fast track for Broadway. We did our off-Broadway production under a new name with a lot of changes to make it Broadway ready. And it didn't make it Broadway ready. A lot of what was sort of true about the sort of just the root of what made us want to write that piece sort of went away in that off-Broadway production. Though many people, I know it moved many people, it lost some of its authenticity. Yes, go on.
When you have, I often think about artists that, as an artist, there's many levels. That young artist, I want to go to acting school. I graduate acting school. I want representation. You get representation. I want an audition. I want to book a job. There's like these levels that never ends. You want more and more and more. And I know that writing a musical is a very daunting task. The story is legendary about you tape recording Griffin with him not knowing as he was going on about and starting, when you're in that moment, we'll just go dive into the moment. And when you wrote the show and you get to in front of the people that everyone dreams of getting it in front of and put on a production, I've heard a lot of people who have had a lot of success and I'm fascinated by it talk about the moment they get to where they think they are going to be happy. It's not, the illusion of it is not real. And you've been very honest, and Griffin has been very honest about the battle. So what moves me, aside from the piece, is you both have continued to stand up and fight the fight to get the art that you want made. And your tenacity, because when I met you, it was the week after that production we're talking about closed. You were literally talking about going back to wait tables. You were literally talking about how you were going to pay rent.
I did go back to
and you
yeah.
And what stops you from saying, I don't want to do this anymore? I know you've thought about it. What has kept you going?
I guess I always tell people, if there's something else that you can do besides this, you should do it. I guess it's just the call. It's just the call. It is like for me, it's like a holy space. And I don't mean that in a cheesy way. I really mean that in like there are other things that I can do. I've been a teacher, I've been a waiter. And ultimately what winds up happening in any of those professions is, I've been a Peace Corps volunteer. I wind up in the Peace Corps making a play with a bunch of girls in the middle of the desert. And so the path just keeps coming back to the calling, just that thing. And for me, it is a holy space because I actually believe that, the stories we tell, the things that we put into the world, actually, number one, on a very personal level, they can be freeing for us. They let me work through some of the things in my life that don't always make sense. And I think that they can really have an effect on people. There's a reason why for millennia we have been going and listening to people tell stories. Because sometimes we need someone else to tell the story that we can't tell. In the same way that I couldn't tell my story, I needed Griffin's story.
Mhm.
It's someone, when someone has that calling, when that's what they're supposed to do, and they are really like dropped into the holiness of that calling, that's when you can go sit in a theater or read a book or hear a song and go like, oh, that's my life. That's
Yeah.
my story. And that's what happens. I just keep coming back.
And if you run from it, it's going to chase you. I know that in my own life, and it's just. And what's funny is, Witness Uganda is a story that I don't technically relate to. I sat there at the end of it when I first saw it, second stage. I sat there next to Roderick Covington in Beverly Hills. I sat there in the front row in Beverly Hills the second day, and the show moves me. It's not my story. It has nothing to do with my life and everything to do with my life because it's so universal. Can you tell everyone watching when they listen to this project, what is this project really about? What is the story of Witness Uganda?
Well, it's a story about someone who doesn't belong and who's very, I think that's in a lot of ways something, part of the reason it's universal is because I think that's something a lot of us struggle with, especially with like social media, whether it's social media or it's in this case of the story, the church, or just all of the, I hesitate to use the word traumas because the word trauma is loaded for a lot of folks, but I would just say like all the crap that that we carry that makes us feel like we are not worthy, we're not seen, the things our parents did. There she is again.
She doesn't leave. She'll never leave. She never leaves.
The thing, and as a parent, I think I realize like there's things sometimes that I do that I'm like, oh my God, someday my child's going to go like, why did you say that? Why did you do that? Especially as a foster parent, like, why did my mom do that? Why did my dad do, like, what was wrong? Whatever it is that you have. This is a story about a group of people looking for their circle, looking for their family. And I think that is the way that we build family now. In a lot of cases, we don't grow up in like little villages where, that village is your world for the rest of your life. We grow up, people move away, we travel, we can go across the world, you can access anywhere on the internet. So in a lot of ways, our families are chosen now. Yeah. And that's what this character and all of these characters are essentially doing. They're choosing their circle. They're choosing the people in which they feel that they can build life with. They're building their villages, building their communities together.
Well, it is definitely, firstly, the album, we're going to talk about that and how you wrote that, but the album, it's 26 tracks. It's the show. So it takes you on the whole roller coaster that you would see if you were inside of the theater. You hear that you literally follow the story. And the story about Griffin and his best friend, Griffin going overseas to Uganda and meeting a group of well, you'll have to listen to it, but it's definitely the trials and tribulations. It touches on a lot of political things. It touches on homophobia, racism, as you said, globalism, how we are as a society and how we're so much alike, but we see each other so differently is what I personally take away. And you'll take away whatever you want when you listen to it. How do you, and I never have asked you this, and people are going to want to know, how do you write? Like, what is your process? How did these songs come about? What is Griffin's role and your role in this in terms of as co-writers?
I guess it often starts with the first song, like you kind of alluded to before, started as he was ranting. He was just ranting. And I started recording him ranting. And then I started cutting up the rant and sort of setting parts of it to music and building music around it. A lot of times I just think of, I think, I'm not trying to compare to Stephen Sondheim, but he would often talk about like musicals being like puzzles. I think of them as kind of like collages, and even songs as being like collages. Like there's a piece here and a piece there, and it's just about like refining the different pieces. Like how do they fit together? Can they fit? And sometimes I can't refine it, and so then I pass to Grif, and now you do a pass on this, and then I'm like, yeah, that's great. That's not better, but I know what you're trying to say there. Let me do a pass. And so it's a I talk about musicals and even making musicals as a little bit of a metaphor for like life, for trying to build community. It's like a bunch of people have to come together, choreographers, directors, producers, actors, musicians, and like everybody has to try to agree on what the story is you're trying to tell and how you're trying to tell it. So it's a very collaborative back and forth, no matter how much anyone tries to make a musical theater writer or any artist sort of like this singular genius.
Right.
My experience has been that there's rarely a singular genius in the room, even when that's the story that you're told.
Mm-hmm.
Usually it's a lot of really smart, thoughtful people coming together and like duking it out and hopefully being able to come to some agreement about what it is that we're trying to make. So that's how I write. It's not clean.
How many? Oh, I can't imagine it. I can't even imagine how many drafts of the show do you think you've done or have revisions you've made on the show?
I couldn't answer because it's hundreds, thousands,
and
because it's
hundreds.
It's that song doesn't work, a new song. Oh, that song works, that verse doesn't work. Let's rewrite that. It's just, there does come a point though, I believe, at least for me, and I think for Grif too, there comes a point when you're like, okay, I know what this is. Now I know what the show is. I'm at that point with like Lempicka, which is another show I'm working on right now. When you're like, okay, I've been working on this show for 10 years. Now I know what the story is. And like, no, that's not right. No, that's not right. It's that. We have to write that thing. Like, I just know it's that now. Now I get into my like, it's that. And it took us a long time to get there with Witness Uganda. There were a lot of voices in the room, a lot of opinions, and we sifted through them and we worked through them, and they taught us things. Sometimes in spite of them, they taught us things. But eventually you get to a point, I think, where like that's the thing. And I think that's what I feel about this album. Like if there is another production at some point, which I hope there will be, if there is a movie at some point, which I hope there will be more, the more will change, more will grow. It will continue to grow. But I know that what's on that album is like, that's our story. Like that is what that's what we're driving to. So anything else is going to be a variation on that thing.
Well, what has been a beautiful piece of this whole story is the cast, which is the part that the audience sees, the part that's the most forefront. Yeah, there's a million people behind the scenes. You and Griffin have a reputation, at least to me. You find every star before they're a star. They do your show. They go on to be big, giant musical theater, TV, and film stars. This album in particular is stacked with vocalists in there, with the most pristine, beautiful musicians, because firstly, Matt Gould has a style. I say this all the time. And you can go see Lempicka in La Jolla or New York or wherever it goes. You can see Witness. You can listen to Witness Uganda. You can hear songs from the Family Project. You can hear whatever they do. And there's a Matt. And even in Lempicka, your style is so different because it's a big, giant musical where this is very influenced in the sounds of Uganda and different styles. There's your music has a heartbeat. It drives everything drives. You are on a roller coaster with you, and the passion exudes through it. You need a certain type of musician and a certain type of cast to sing Matt Gould composed music. Not everyone is just going to pick up. I have tried to sing Woman Is. I have tried to sing some of these songs. They are not easy. So when you were in the casting process and when you put this album together, what do you look for as a creative on the other side of the table instead of when you're performing to be a part of your shows? What is it that these performers on this album and the people who have worked in the Witness Uganda through the years what do you look for? Their talent, their heart, their personality? What is it as a creative that people are looking for?
Yes, all that. And essence. It's about essence. I think a lot of times, we cast actors to like play parts. I'm rarely interested in watching an actor play a role. I'm much more interested in watching a human play a version of themselves. And so when there's a character that we've written or that I've written, I'm always more interested in the performer who aligns with that person some way, like in their core. And then we can write to them. We can adjust. We can always adjust music. We can always adjust a line. We can always adjust the pieces of the puzzle to fit a specific person. But like, you can't fix some if they are not essentially that person. Then for me, it always will feel like a performance, and that's okay. Like sometimes, like that's what people want. I'm less interested in that. I want blood and guts on the stage. Like I want to experience all the things that we have trouble experiencing in our lives. I want people to cry and laugh and spit and be messy. You know, I want to see humanity.
Yes, real. I'm over the whole no shade. I'm not trying to get Matt in trouble. I don't need to see another Disney princess. I want to see real stories, and I want to see real art. I want to. God bless them. I'm happy for them. I want to, and those people that work on the stage. But I want to see original work by original artists representing people of all across the rainbow and be seen, because there's so many good stories to tell. We don't need to rehash every 1986 movie on stage. So someone wrote us a question. We have a question for you. Joelle Schindler says, what were the changes that were made for the Ready for Broadway production? And did the show evolve and change leading up to the album?
Hey, Joelle. The title changed. There was a decision to turn Griffin's best girlfriend into his boyfriend, so that we were theoretically upping the tension between creating this love triangle. You know, you hear a lot, I think, as when you're writing based on true stories, people love to say to you, like, now remember, you're allowed to change certain aspects of you don't have to tell it exactly how it happened. And I'm like, and I just remember being like, I know that. I get it. It's a freaking, am I allowed to curse? Like,
yeah, you can say whatever you want.
Fucking musical. I get it.
Right.
Like, you don't have to tell me that it's okay to change the facts. I get it. I don't think I'm throwing him under the bus, but like, I remember like sitting down with like Lin-Manuel Miranda many years ago, before pre-Hamilton, after In the Heights, and we sat down with him. We had the same agent at the time, and Griffin and I said to Lin, you know, like, how did you get your show to Broadway? Because there is something as musical theater writers, you want your show to go to Broadway. Like, that's the gold standard. You know, did you listen to the changes when the producer said A, B, and C? Did you do it? And Lin said, I did what they told me. I wanted my show to go to Broadway. And I said, but wait, but like, what about like when and he was like, Matt, I wanted my show to go to Broadway. And P.S., that is not, I'm not throwing any shade to Lin. Like, there was a, there are certain ways, there are certain games that you play in the politics of this business that help to up your chances of getting your show done. And I struggled with that. And I think both of us struggled with that. And I think to the point where like we were willing to do certain things, we weren't willing to do other things. And so it just became a kind of just a jumble of a lot of people who were not agreeing about what we were trying to make. I think there was a version of the show that just was going to feel, for some people, that was going to feel more commercial. And I think in our spirits, Griff and I were going like, I think actually the true story is, or the closer to true story is commercial. I think that's actually what people want to see. People want to see some real shit on the stage. You know, it's a mess. Paula Vogel used to, she would say to me, she's a very incredible playwright, brilliant mentor of mine. And she said, Matt, you got to give the first one away. You got to give the first one away. And again, it is a little bit of that thing that I don't know, maybe in any business, it's like, you got to kind of like, either you're going to play the game or they're going to shut you out. And we didn't like playing the game. It wasn't fun for us. It was not good for Griff. Certainly wasn't good for me. And like, ultimately, like, I didn't work for a long time in the theater after that production. Like in some ways they did like shut us out, especially him. It's a lot harder to be a black gay man than it is to be a white guy.
So does this, I know, and I remember, and everything, I'm not trying to talk about your personal business, but everything that was supposed to happen all got flipped on its head. It's either the wrong people being elected, so people weren't putting up your shows, or people not wanting to deal with after this, the first iteration of the show that was in New York, or everything that the COVID, like everything you guys have rolled with so many punches. And every year I gear up and say to Matt, like, this is the year. And then I think, Matt, and I'm not trying to jinx it, like your husband is a bona fide television star. I mean, he is, so he can tell all those Broadway people if he wanted to, I'll get my royalty check in the mail. And you have this project, which I know when you took back the rights to this show and you put it at the Wallace, you got to be on stage every night again, and Griffin got to direct the production, and he got to really be, you guys as music director and him directing the production got to make a production much more in line, I'm assuming, with your own original vision.
That's right. I mean, that's it. It was about working the way we always worked, which was like making a collage. Not going like, oh, this is a finished perfect piece, but like we understand what we're trying to make on that stage. We understand the experience that we're trying to curate, and I think sometimes to make something new, to tell a story that maybe hasn't often been told. Griffin and I were laughing today because when we were at second stage, Griffin said, there aren't musicals out there about like black gay protagonists who like, and the artistic director of that theater came back, had her staff put together a list of musicals with black gay protagonists like Kinky Boots, and which I love Kinky Boots, but like it was about point. This like lack of understanding, like, but we're not trying to make Kinky Boots. We're trying to make like this gritty kind of like real, like we want to talk about some shit, not just like, and again, just Kinky Boots was trying to talk about some shit, but we're trying to do it in a different way. We're trying to make we're like doing an indie musical here, Yes. In Filmland, you can do that. There's like an indie musical or an indie film, and there's a blockbuster film, and all of those films can be like nominated for Academy Awards, In musical theater, it's like, even when you're making the indie, it still has to be like a blockbuster, because if it ain't a blockbuster, like, how are they going to run that thing? Which speaks somewhat of the problem of the industry, that if you have to be making a show that, has to be raking in $1 million a week, people are scared. They don't want, they're scared to take a chance on like something that feels real. They're scared to take a chance on something that's not like, there's glitter falling from the ceiling. It's just like, so anyway, we got to do that gritty production, and it worked. We saw it worked.
Not only did it work, it really worked. I know you hate critics and reviews, but the reviews in the LA Times were giant. You were a Critics' Choice. Your show you got a whole bunch of award nominations in LA. You had an all-star cast. Like, the show was beautiful. It was the first time I had seen it without Griffin as Griffin. And you found such amazing performers that you brought in, from local performers and not. I don't know, you went to a coffee shop and kidnapped Ledisi and put her in your show. So you really you didn't just take back your show and put on a little community theater production in Branson, Missouri. You guys went and did it. Like, you did it. And with that production, is that how this idea of the album came to fruition? Like, how did it go from who did you have this idea for a long time? I know people have asked you for it, the cast album. What made you finally say, damn it, let's make this album?
One of our producers, Oliver Roth, during the
he's
pandemic.
Here. Hey,
Ollie. He was the one. We always wanted to make an album, but he said, "Why are we not making this an album? We should make this as an album." And that really started the ball rolling. And then we got Stephen Bray involved. Stephen Bray, who wrote The Color Purple and produced a lot of Madonna's albums, and he's been a champion of this piece for a long time. Our team, Remy Kurz and Kian, our orchestrator, came on as producers, and so Sony eventually came on to produce the album, and basically everyone was like, make the album you want, just you do it, just do the album you want to do. And it was the most joyful, beautiful.
Here's different iterations of the show through the years. The good ones, the bad ones, all of the ones. They're none bad. I'm just kidding.
Well,
obviously,
all these people, I love every one of these people is special.
I had the privilege to be literally the privilege to see some of the recording process while you guys were recording in Los Angeles, and I wanted to just say you on this album, and I didn't want to leave anyone else. You have Cynthia Erivo, you have Ledisi, you have Kristolyn Lloyd, you have Nicolette and Tyrone and Jamar and Emma and Grif and Lauren and Jalen and India and Antoine and Shalea, and that group of people from theater, from recording businesses, from Academy Award nominees to Grammy winners across the board, they threw down. Just hearing them sing, and you conduct, and you hear because Matt has the signature Matt grunt and yell and bang that is a part of the show. It all takes place. It feels very live. The album feels very live to me. Even though it's with the world and how recording works, what was your intention with the album? Did you want it to sound like we were in the theater? Did you want it? What was your vision?
That it feel very live. That it feel like that it feel raw and live, and yet also that it feel this is the tension. I guess theater is like yoga to me. There is strength and flexibility. There is mess and precision. There is, so it wanted to be both of those things. It wanted to have the precision and cleanliness that good producing, good orchestrations, good vocal arrangements bring, but then it wanted to have the messiness and the realness of humanity. And I remember there was a take of Cynthia's in the song Holy Spirit, and she had recorded it several times, and there was this one really clean take, and then there was this take where she kind of growled through the note. And initially they had sort of done a pass where they hadn't used the growly one. And I was like, where the fuck's the growly one? I want to hear Cynthia growl. I've heard, I know what Cynthia, I know Cynthia's perfect. I know she can sing perfectly. It's part of her gift. I want to hear the part of her that isn't perfect. I want to hear the part, because to me, that is perfection. That is perfection, when you get to hear someone just living, someone struggling, someone going through something, rather than someone floating on top of something. And I think, again,
absolutely,
that's the space that a lot of times we get. I know, some of the actors who play the students were like, well, let me do that again. And I was like, no, I don't want it better. That was it. You did it. It doesn't all have to be tuned perfect. It needs to feel like human beings, because I think when you listen to human beings sing, you can feel human. When you're listening to machines sing, we're doing what we do all day, which is just this, and I don't want that.
I get it. And it comes through. It feels like I'm sitting in the theater and listening to it. And what I really love about the whole entire process and seeing it live and seeing it, then hearing it on the album, is that the emotion, the singer's emotion, besides the fact that they're all brilliant actors, they're brilliant actors. So they're telling a story and playing a character, but it feels so real, the heart of it all. And I said to Matt, I heard a song that Matt wrote recently, and I said to him, you're the only person I know who can tell you, it's like you're reading your diary. It can literally be, I woke up today, I felt like this, I did this. You tell a story in a literal sense sometimes to music, but it's so honest that it makes you lean in and be like, what you're telling me your inner thoughts. This show, you're going to hear if the characters, if it's Griffin, if it's the mother, if it's the students, if it's the best friend, like you're getting the inside of their head. It's not, it's almost like an inner, and I've never heard the term before, a documentary style musical, like a documentary musical that you guys came up with, because that's what it feels like. I feel like I'm watching a Netflix documentary set to music. And it's so real and different. And I will say this till the end of time. You guys were so ahead of your time. And you fought a lot of fights for a lot of people who came after you, and you guys don't even know. You don't even know, because you literally laid down for a lot of art that has come after you, and you guys fought that fight for real. So I know that for a fact. What I want to say to you is, when you listen to it live, or when you listen to the album, how important was it? I just want to give some love to the people that were behind the scenes. There's an amazing producing team that was behind it, obviously Sony. And what has it been like working? Some of the producers and the people that you've worked with have been with you for years. Oliver's been with you for years, and Remy's been with you for years. And Steven, who I had a moment with when I was at the studio, when I was just like, Steven, he's so quiet. And I was like, you produced like some of the songs like I was obsessed with in my life. And he was like, oh yeah. Like, so, okay. You just want to produce every Madonna record that you ever listened to in the 80s and early 90s. And you're just like past the hummus. I get it. Amazing. And then you're there, he's doing yoga in the corner, and you guys are making an album. Your musicality, and Remy, I have to say, Remy is sitting at a keyboard. You guys as musical geniuses, like you'll be like, pick up on 16, and he'll play it once, and then these singers are singing in 3, 4, Matt Gould high notes to the heaven harmonies that are not, row, row, row your boat in 3rd grade. And these singers are picking this shit up so quick, and you guys are moving so quick. It was literally a master class in not recording or musical theater. It was like a music theory class. The group of people you had in the group of people you had in those booths, singing these songs as session singers, and you two, and the organization you guys had was really, I wish I filmed that whole thing, because people need to see how amazing it was to see you all work. It was inspiring. Thank you. Really inspiring.
That is a testament to 14 years of work, first of all. That's also a testament to just, it's a cliche to say this, but really surrounding yourself with people who are smarter, better, more capable at the things that you are not. It's again why I like rebuke this mad genius narrative that we hear a lot about in the theater and in just all art. It's just like, this is not a solo sport at all. It's just not. It really is about like empowering everyone to like, okay, do the thing that you do the thing that you do. I'm going to stand over here, and I'm going to do the thing that I do, so that everyone's just in their lane and knows what they're doing. And that's about them. That's about everybody agreeing like that is how we're going to work. And making this album, and I've said this to Remy and Kian a million times, and Steven, was undoubtedly maybe the most joyful artistic experience, certainly of my adulthood, because everyone just was like, we are all on the same page. We all know what we want to make. Let's do it.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. You have your children there. You always create an inclusive, safe space for everybody. My friend Mike asked about a dream collaboration, but I'm going to add to that. Are there people that you want to work with, and what is next? The album is out. What is next for you?
Are there people I want to work with? Yeah, probably. Probably not the sort of usual suspects. I think, it's funny. I was like on a call with somebody the other day talking about a project that I wasn't totally sure. I'm still not sure if it's the right project. And he wasn't either. But I just had this really beautiful connection with this artist who, like, I don't know. And I think just generally I'm interested in stories that make me feel something, in people who open up parts of me that I don't always get opened up, people that like sort of challenge and push me to look at life and the world a slightly different way. So are there people I want to collaborate with? Yes. I think that it's about being open to, like, it might be a lady in a coffee shop. It might be a dude, driving a bus. It's just I don't know what the next like musical is. I know, like, I'm working on a TV show right now about an interracial gay couple that is fostering children, and that's a musical TV show about a composer who is struggling with how to make family in this modern world. Lempicka is coming to La Jolla this summer, so that is a big thing that we're preparing for. But ultimately, it's just about wanting to work with people who both push me, and just who there's like mutual inspiration. We just sort of like get off on one another's gifts, and we can fill in the spaces where there is maybe something that needs some filling in.
Well, that's what's so beautiful. You're the artistry of you is just, it's always been beautiful. It's what I love. And your kindness in general, before I wax poetic about how much I love you, you really did take a little broken person. You let me into your brownstone in Harlem, and somehow I found courage. And I talked to Roderick, was on Instagram before, and he was like, "How do you stay positive?" He said to me, and I said to him, I used to go on those first auditions and think of you or Grif or Roderick and be like, I know these people, and there must, the courage, you gave me courage, and you accepted me and gave me every single person that, and this is not about me, but every single person that I have had on the show that is a connection, or I've sung about or talked about, is really through Matt and Grif. I don't know what would have happened if I never sent that message. I would be living a very different life. And you accepted me and took care of me when I needed it the most. And that's the truth. And that's, to me, more than any talk show or me performing or singing somewhere. And you have overcome so much, and I've seen this struggle. What did it feel like today to wake up and know it's out?
I have to take all that in, Robert. That was a lot.
It's true.
I love you. I've always loved your heart.
I love you.
Always loved your heart. So thank you for that.
No.
What did it feel like to wake up today? Well, I mean, it came out at like midnight last night, and I was laying in bed with our 3-year-old son because Grif was out shooting something last night. And I like played the album on Spotify, and he and I just sort of sat up in bed. It feels amazing. It feels really special to get to know that, like, something that we've sort of worked on. And the thing about making musicals and making theater is it's so contingent on like being in a room with people. And now suddenly, like, anybody in the world can hear this who wants to hear it. That's a very profound, really, like, it, I've been listening to this album for 6 months already because we've been waiting. But to actually get to hear it on like Spotify, I know there's a lot of drama around Spotify right now. I'm sorry.
No, it's true.
But to actually get to hear it, it has been profound, and I've listened to it like 2 or 3 times today. Just I'm just like, oh my god,
it's real. I searched today on social media. I'm like, I can listen to this version of Invisible. Not that you and Grif's version is not beautiful, but this version, this arrangement is there. My favorite personal track, if you asked me, I told Matt, and one day me and Matt were texting, and I was incessantly just using titles of songs from the show, but Put It All on the Line has really become the mantra when I think of you both, and then I've tried to incorporate that lesson in my own self. But Be the Light and Invisible Thread and The Circle and all of these beautiful, the songs that Into the Blue, Across the Blue, they're so beautiful, but I'm gonna put it on. I'm a line person, because I think of that's what you both did. You wanted this made, you did not sell yourself, and you still got to make it the way you wanted, and it's in its own time. And you are an example to many artists, and I've been with you, and you're very humble. I have been with you when people have come up to you and said, I follow you, I love your music, I'm waiting for your shows to be, for them to keep growing and growing and getting bigger and bigger and be everywhere. And your people will be ruining your music in audition rooms for decades. This will live forever. They will be ruining it forever. So I was really thinking, and I told everyone, and if you have 10 minutes, do you have 10 minutes? Do you have to go pick up the kids?
I have
5.
I have several, more than 10 minutes. I'm good.
Okay. Esther did send a message.
Yeah.
Some people sent messages, and she, in true Esther style, sent it 5 minutes before we went on. So that's why she's separate from everyone else's, even though I asked her. So I didn't know what to do to commemorate this occasion. And I know I'm going to put you in an uncomfortable spot, but a lot of people love you. Okay. So here's Esther. And then once Esther's done, diva mess. Oh God. We'll show everyone else. Here's what she had to say.
And brother, Mulimutia Tata, new brother, I am so proud of you, and congratulations upon the release of your album. Bayoza Yuza Okfulmia album Yamwe. I miss you so much. I love you. Bagalanyo.
There is a long invisible thread that wraps around my heart.
Okay, firstly, I can't believe we did this. This music actually exists and is going to be released soon. Second, it is totally your fault. No one in their right mind should have taken a piece that they'd been working on for 10 years and were working with people who were like really, really experienced at making musical theater, and seen some like 20-something, zero experience young producer, invited them into the circle and conversation at all. But you did. And because of you doing that, I got hooked. And that was like sort of the end for me. I don't think in the last 7 years or whatever it's been, I haven't stopped thinking about the piece for all that long. And at the end of the day, that's sort of why the main reason that I wanted to produce this album was because I like can't keep humming the music to myself. I need to have it on this device. This is amazing, and I'm really so proud of what you guys have put together, and I can't wait to share it with the world. It now exists. This score exists, and anyone can hear it as long as they subscribe to a streaming service, which should be everyone. Yeah, I think I've probably gone too long. Rob's going to kill me.
Beautiful Matt and Griffin. I am so excited that the world gets to witness Uganda. Oh man, I will never forget that evening that you asked me to do the very first stage reading of Witness Uganda. It changed my life, and now the world gets to be impacted by your contribution to American music theater. I love you so much. Congratulations. Let's keep doing it, baby. Peace.
Griffin, Mart, I love you. I love you so much. Congratulations. Can't wait to hear the entire project. I know it's glorious.
Wow, congratulations. Witness Uganda is absolutely an amazing musical, the message, and I'm so grateful to be a part of the Witness Uganda family. The music, the album is incredible. I listened to it today, and I literally got chills. So congratulations to the whole team. I'm so excited for the world to hear this. It's been a long time coming, and I love you guys so much. Matt and Grif, you guys are family. You guys are so talented. You're amazing. And I thank you so much for believing in me and always including me. I love y'all. And here we go. Let's get it.
Hi, Matt and Grif. Just wanted to pop in and say that I love you. Allie sends her love too. I've spent the whole morning listening to the album. It's unbelievable. It's everything I didn't realize I was missing in my life. I know that this journey hasn't been everything that you wanted it to be, but it is exactly as it should have been. And we have loved and adored and cheerleaded every version of it so far. And whatever wasn't fulfilling for you, those experiences were all fulfilling for us as viewers, as partakers in the journey. So thank you for your work and your time and your love. It comes through. And today, all out for this season. Thank you guys.
My boys, I love you so much. I miss you terribly. I am always endlessly proud of you, endlessly inspired by you. Congratulations on another milestone achievement, on being so relentless in your pursuit of art that is full of integrity and purpose and heart, for being so diligent about your mission. I just love you. I'm honored to know you. And mazel mazel.
This is it. And this is what you get when you've been traveling all day and when you've been friends with you both as long as I have. You don't have to be fancy. You love me regardless, right? Even with these bags under my eyes. I am so beyond proud of you both and this show and the journey that it's taken and the incredible road that led you to this moment when you got your show back and on your terms, the way you wanted, with your vision and your integrity. This project means so much to me because it's what led me to both of you. It's what lit my heart on fire. And I will never forget that moment sitting in that auditorium, just needing to sit by myself afterward for a good chunk of time because I was crying so hard. I am honored to be a part of your lives. I am beyond proud. This is only the beginning. Congratulations. I love you both so much. Bella Musana.
Congratulations! Yes, I am having a little rosé in a coupe glass in your honor. Isn't that a great sound? I thank you so much, Robert, for letting me join in on the congratulations of it all. What an incredible day. There have been so many milestones in such a iconic, epic journey such as Witness Uganda, and I will just never forget. I'll never forget. I guess it was 12 years ago when you're like, come out to Disney Studios. We wrote this little thing that we want you to see. And Griffin, I've obviously known you for now 23 years, and Matt probably, I guess, 13 now. And I'll just never forget being in that space and hearing your story. Even though I knew your story, I didn't really know your story until you started to put it into the music and into this rhythm, and I lost it. I mean, it moved me. I mean, it's one of the times I've been the most moved in my life. I was distracting for the other people watching the show. They were like, we're moved too, lady. And it was really like a conversion experience, and it's been such an honor to be part of the journey, witness it, see how it's unfolded, and now celebrate this incredible cast album and the beautiful electric. I don't even how do I even syncopation and rhythm and storytelling that you put together. Truly a piece of art, an incredible piece of work. I love you so much. I'm constantly in awe of you and thrilled and honored to call you friend. And I'm like, well, when all hope is lost, I'm like, well, I did something right by getting to call you two friends in this lifetime. So I miss you. I love you. Happy release day, and to many, many more chapters in the story. And thank you for being the change that you want to see in the world. Your love and your life is an act of protest. I love you so much. Okay. Thanks, Robert, for having me. Bye.
Congratulations, you guys. It's here.
It's here and it's glorious. It sounds great. Congratulations. And thanks for all your work, bringing this special work to the world.
We're so proud of you, and remember Martha's Vineyard a long time ago? Come a long way from there. Woo! Congrats.
Hey, it's Stephen Schawartz saying congratulations to my talented friends Griffin and Matt on the release of the Witness Uganda cast album. I can't wait to be able to listen to this beautiful score over and over, and I know I will.
To Matt and Griffin, congratulations. It's been a long road and all well worth it. No, for real, y'all. Congratulations on this. Mwah.
Lord above, can you hear me?
So I just want to start off by saying, wow, this album has been such a long time in the works, and it's such an important album to be released into the world, and I'm extremely proud of both of you guys. I know you've been working on this so hard and for such a long time, and you should be extremely proud of what you've done. I know I'm proud of you both, and I love you guys very much. So congratulations. It's going to be so good.
Hi, Matt. Aunt Cheryl, I just wanted to let you guys know how proud I am of you and to congratulate you on the release of your new Witness Uganda album. Keep up the good work. I can't wait to see what new and exciting things you guys have in store for us. Love you both, and God bless you.
Congratulations, Griffin and Matt. We just wanted to say that we're very proud of you on the release of your new album. We know that it's been a lot of hard work for you, but we're very proud of you and proud of all of the work you're doing and will continue to do. So congratulations again. We love you.
Congratulations to both of you. Job well done.
Congratulations, Griffin and Matt, on your new album release. I cannot wait to hear it. I know it's going to do great. Griffin, I know since we've been kids, you've been so talented and had so many projects that you've been working on. So I am so excited to hear that that's going to continue. And adding Matt to the mix, you guys are a force to be reckoned with. So congratulations again, and I love you.
Hey fam, congrats on all the success and with the new album. Can't wait to listen to it. I'm like super proud of you too. Love the both of you. Love Baby Love. Love Apollo as well. Like, you guys are dope. Keep doing y'all thing. Much flowers to you. Peace.
Griffin and Matt, congratulations on your album. I remember seeing the play when you first had Witness Uganda in New York. It was an excellent play, and then I got the chance to come back to the California one, and I just love the play, and I'm so happy for you guys.
Hey, congratulations, Griff and Matt, on the new album. May there be many more to come.
Hey, we know that this project has been a labor of love for you guys, and we just wanted to say a hearty congratulations to you. It's been fun watching it unfold. Hey, we love you.
We've had a front row seat to watching your passion to resurrect people. So congratulations for getting to this moment and weaving invisible threads through all of us. Love you.
Hey, Matt and Grif. Congratulations on the release of the Witness Uganda album. I know it's been a long time coming. I've been singing the music since the early demos, and it really is wonderful that more people will get to hear it and enjoy it, other than just my nieces and nephews who all know it by heart. So I'm really looking forward to being able to share it more broadly, and I hope you're proud because I know it's been a long road and hasn't always looked the way that we thought it would, but it's beautiful. You've made something really, really special that a lot of people were a part of, and I hope you feel proud. And I know that I will enjoy listening to it. So congratulations. Love you.
Congratulations, Uncle Dude and Uncle Griffin. We love you.
Matt and Grif,
Congratulations on the production of your first album.
we have always been proud of you and have enjoyed tracking your comet.
We wish you continued success and look forward to the day when you can stop for a second to catch your breath.
We love you and are hugging you. Burn down.
And I can't break free.
Well, there you go. I've just, all I have to say is Matt Gould and Griffin Matthews, and then people just start sending videos. Big thank you to your mom. The big thank you to Griff's mom. You know, I'm scrappy, so I have no problem just asking anybody for anything. I'm like, Billy Porter, do you just want to send a video to Matt and Griff? And he said, of course. Of course. Two people, there's a Miss Friedrich who sent a message, who didn't send a video. She says, congratulations on your first album. Congrats, you've worked so hard for this and lived it. I'm so proud of you guys. And then you know, Griff's Adrian and on the West Coast said, I have watched your genius touch and uplift lives for so long. Your talents know no bounds. I'm so excited for the worlds to have this new album. So Mazel Tov. So we didn't know what to do. So I just wanted you to know how loved and appreciated you guys are. You've touched so many lives. And yeah, fancy people and family, but so many people you make feel like family and a part of your invisible thread in your world, thanks to sharing your art and humanity. So thank you, truly.
Thank you. That was too much. Thank you for that. And thank you to all those people who
I harassed. Yeah. No, there was no harassing needed. Everyone was so excited for you. And I am so excited for everyone watching right now to jump on and listen to this album. Send love, share this album with your friends and your family. If you have an aspiring musician, if there's a musical theater fiend in your house, a child or a friend or a cousin, share this album with them, because not only is it a beautiful story of inclusivity and about family, but it's also beautifully, artistically and musically brilliant. And that's thanks to Matt Gould and Griffin Matthews. It's streaming everywhere. You can go to witnessuganda.com, I believe. And you can follow Matt. He's the fake Matt Gould on Instagram, so you can follow it. And you tease yourself about social media, but your social media posts, I get so many comments from people that follow you because they know I've told them to follow you. You write the most beautiful, poetic thoughts about the world, family, race, love. You're a philosopher before you're a musician. So follow him.
I think that, yeah, I you know what I'm working on, Robert? I'm working on just being here right now. That's it.
Me too.
Working on being here.
I hear you. I get it. I totally get it. Thank you for sharing your music. We'll all be coming. We'll all stream it and share it. Everyone come to La Jolla this summer. It's another beautiful show that Matt is music is and life is through. We've worked on that show for how long?
10 years. 10 years. They're not quick. They're
No.
not quick.
I have a sneaky suspicion that we're not getting rid of you, either of you, anytime soon. I feel like this is only the beginning. There's a lot more music to come, and I'm excited.
I hope so, Robert. I hope so.
I know it.
And I really do thank you for this this platform and just your heart and your willingness to just share your life with us. I really appreciate this. Thank you.
No, my pleasure. You're welcome back anytime, and I will be over to feed these chickens very soon. And I miss my little ones. You gotta set. They call me Uncle Eleanor because
We do.
because Matt said I'm like, your Aunt Eleanor that comes in and, like, I don't know, gives you a silver dollar and don't spend it all in one place, kid.
Uncle Eleanor.
So
That's it.
I miss those babies. So send my love. I thought we would, as a way to end this evening tonight, before you all go out, and you could buy it on iTunes, because Spotify is not so great to artists and pays. Just saying. I love Spotify. My music's on Spotify. I'll take a stream however I can get it, but you can support and buy the album or other streaming platforms. But I figured, there was a years ago, Matt and Grif used to do their show with just Matt on piano. And he used to bang that piano, push that piano, stand on that piano, hit that piano, and Grif would sing. They did a show at the Kennedy Center. And for me, the song that really hooked me from the beginning and the end of, one of the ending parts of the show is Invisible Thread. This is Matt and Grif a couple of years ago. I hope you don't mind me showing it. It's you guys at the Kennedy Center, and I figured it was a way to end it. I hope you find that invisible thread and family in your life. I love you, Matt Gould. Congratulations. We've only just begun. Thank you so much. Stream the album, and I'll see you all real soon. Thank you.
There is a long invisible thread that wraps around my heart and wraps around your head, tightens its grip when things go unsaid, and I can't break free.
Let go, let me, little boy, break free, leave him out on his own, let him find his way home. Can't take all his pain on his shoulders, only weighs you all down when you're older. Let him run, let him fly, if you love him, don't cry tonight. Let him learn all he can, so when he comes home again, he'll be a better man.
There's a long invisible thread that wraps around my heart and wraps around your head, tightens its grip when things go unsaid, and I can't break free.
Lord above, can you hear my prayer?
Can you hear my prayer?
Know the answer, make me aware how to still love him and how to still care and how to stay strong when I wanna be over there. Do I fly? How can I love him and keep my eyes dry? Do I learn all I can, so when I come home again, I'll be a better man. Better man.
Wraps around my heart and wraps around your head, it tightens its grip when things go unsaid, and I can't break free.
Oh, oh,